We're so vain. This episode may be about you.
Hello, and welcome back to We're So Vain. Today, Dr. Schul is actually taking a break from educational production. My name is Billy Littlefield. I am a nurse practitioner here at Center for Vein Restoration in Doffing, Alabama. And what we'll be talking about today is compression and putting your compression on, which is called donning, and removing your compression, which is called doffing. Today, I have my lovely assistant, Sunday. She'll be working and letting me put compression on her and show you how to do this. Often we get complaints about how do I put my compression stockings on? It takes me 30 minutes every morning to put a compression stocking on. So today what we'll be going over is what I consider to be the easiest way for donning, and there's several different ways to do it, but the easiest way to do this. Your provider, whenever they have recommended compression for you, either they've already measured you or when you pick your compression stockings up, they should have measured you to make sure you have the right size, to make sure they're not too small or too large. So whenever we start talking about putting compression on, obviously like we talked about, you want to make sure you have the right size. You want to make sure you get everything together as far as what you're going to be needing to do this. My recommendations are, and what we recommend here at Center for Vein Restoration, I recommend latex gloves. Some people are allergic to latex gloves. Even dishwashing gloves is something that can be used instead of just your bare hands. So recommendations: latex gloves. Some of these compression garments do come with a sleeve on the inside of the package. It's a silk sleeve that does assist with putting the compression on, and I'll show you that. I'll talk about that in just a minute. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and show you how we put the compression stocking on and what the recommendations are. So the first thing that we do is I have a compression stocking here that we're going to be putting on Sunday here. First thing that I recommend is taking the compression stocking and turning it completely inside out. So you can see that the garment is inside out. There's the bubbles that help grip the top of the thigh. There's the toes, and there is the ankle fabric, or the heel fabric. I'm going to take the toes and push them back down inside the garment. So you can see there, the toes are down inside. There's my heel fabric. And that gives us the beginnings of making a little pouch inside there. Now, you can use a little bit of talcum powder, regular baby powder, and put on the foot and the heel to make this a little bit easier. And again, like I talked about earlier, some of the compression garments that do not have a toe in, they're toe out compression garments, will have a silk sleeve that will go over the foot and around the heel to make this a little bit easier. So the first thing we'll do is we'll straighten the foot out and point the toes. The foot will line the heel up with the heel on the person, or on the foot, and we'll go over the toes up to as high as we can on the midfoot. So we pull it on just like a sock, just like you put your regular socks on, as high as we can, making sure that our heel is lined up on the bottom side. So from the very edge right here, I'm going to come back down close to the toes, not all the way to the toes, but close to the toes. And this is where your latex gloves come in handy. We're going to get a little bit of fabric here, and we're going to get it under there. We're going to go up the foot and then around the heel. So up the foot and then get around the heel. Once you get around the heel, the rest of it simply slides up. And yes, it is just that easy. To get the wrinkles out, always pull from the bottom, straighten everything out in the bottom, and then go further up the leg. So we're going to adjust that all the way up, and we're going to get the compression as high as we can up the hip. Okay? Always make sure that the heel is on correctly, because there's some people I know that it'll just drive them bananas having a heel out of place. My daughter's that way. Toes the same way. You want the line across the toes. You want the compression garment on correctly. That is putting compression on or donning. To remove compression. Simply take the band at the top, turn it down, begin pulling. Pulling my finger there. Begin pulling from the toes until it gets over the heel. What you do not want to do is put your thumbs inside and push it all the way down. You'll put all that compression right there. I've had several people tell me they almost cut them off, or they wanted to cut them off because there was so much pressure right there on their ankle. Start from the top, just like shucking corn, pulling it off. Now, there are also donning devices, okay? Typically found on Amazon, typically found at the websites for particular manufacturers. There's something called the Butler, which is a very easy to use device for people who have mobility issues getting over to their feet. There are several different devices that are used. I just know the Butler. I've seen the Butler in action and have actually used it. It is a easy to use product. Again, the silk sleeve is also comes in some of the products that do not have the toes in. So those are assistive devices that if you have limited mobility or difficulty getting these on, would make it easier. I do appreciate you spending time with us today, and I hope this makes it a little bit easier getting your compression stockings on. Thank you.